Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny. We got a crowded house in here today. Very, very excited.
I'm very excited.
Angel.
What is up?
What's up? How are you?
What is up, beautiful? I'm great. Oh my goodness. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Tattoo superstar.
Trying to be.
Love
gotta
Love
be a
it.
little humble.
Humble vibes, man. That's what I like to see. We got a returning superstar.
What's up? I'm
Miss
back.
Erika, Campfiyr King star. Love it.
that.
And we have a momager in the background too. She doesn't want to be on camera.
Designated momager. Yes.
Designated momager. So thank you all for coming through, first of all.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated. How are you doing?
Oh my goodness. Where do I start? I'm very excited. I think I'm just like
Cheers,
ready.
by the way.
Cheers,
Oh my God,
yes.
yes.
Most
Drinks,
importantly.
drinks to
Nice
new
empty,
friends.
but-
Yes, love
You got
that.
the bottle
Andrew.
right there. Help yourself.
Yeah, it's got my name on
That's
it.
yours. That's your,
You want me to
that's
put
your,
this on?
I already have
that's your
it.
gift. There you go.
I'm honestly just very excited to tell my story, kind of get the inner narrative out to the people. I think it's going to be very refreshing. As an upcoming tattoo artist, you go through a lot of waves of different emotions. So, yeah, let's dig in.
Hell yeah. So before we even started, we were talking about kind of how you even got into the tattoo world. Take me from the beginning. How did you even pick up that needle? How did you turn into that?
So, I have to be honest. I actually don't have any art experience. So, like, I took art in high school.
Okay.
I think it's like one of the mandatory classes you have to go through in
Yeah.
high
So,
school.
like, for all 4 years or just the first year? Because I feel like it's only mandatory in grade 9.
I'm a high school dropout. So I dropped out in 9th grade. Woo!
So that's when you took art.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's when I took art. I liked tattoos at a very, very young age. Obviously, I started getting tattoos illegally at a very young age.
What's a young age?
I was
And
like
what's
14.
illegal?
Nice. You have to be 18,
Don't do it,
right?
kids!
18,
Don't do it.
19?
Yeah, 18
okay.
Canada. So I got my first tattoo in China.
You were a young rebel.
Yeah.
Love that.
No regrets with an A. No regrets. But yeah, I think when I first noticed that I wanted to be a tattoo artist, it wasn't even the career that was getting to me. It was more so like the art of self-expression and kind of breaking societal norms. I got my first tattoo in China. And to be a tatted younger generation Chinese person is very, very taboo. It's very taboo, especially for female born. It's more normalized for guys, but it's not as normalized as it would be for women in comparison to. And then after I got my first tattoo, I kind of almost related to it as like a coping mechanism of like what I was going through in school and what I was going through in my like personal life, social life, and everything like that. Anytime that something would go bad, but boom, I should get a tattoo. I should like deal with it, right? So that's when I started first getting into it. I think it's been 8 years now since I got my first. So ever since then, I've just kind of every new tattoo I get, there's almost like a new found love and appreciation for it, because with every tattoo artist you go to, it's always going to be a different experience. You know, it's always going to be a different vibe. Some tattoo artists are very headstrong. They don't prefer to, you know, change up their design. They really want you to go with their style. And then some tattoo artists like, oh my god, like I want to accommodate to you and like what you like. So every tattoo artist has almost changed my life to what it is now. And when the pandemic hit, it was like I gotta start. Like I can't waste another year of my life. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was such a passion where waiting on myself to make the first move was scarier than actually making the first move.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
losing time.
Starting.
Yeah, like losing time and making the first move is almost scarier than actually just doing it.
For sure. The fear of failure is worse than the actual
Yes.
failure.
Yeah,
honestly.
very much
Absolutely.
that.
So you grew up in China?
So half and half.
Okay.
I was born in Canada. Back then, back in the 90s, like you couldn't have a second child in China.
Yeah.
So my parents came over here to Canada to have me. And then when I turned 1, I went back to China. 6 years old, came back here. 13 years old, dropped out of high school, got shipped off to boarding school in China. Stayed in China till I was like 17. And then came back and just been living by the day.
Damn.
Wow, that's
and forth.
unreal to think
Back and
about. When you were in China, it's more for your teenage years. Were you always planning on getting out, or were you were you enjoying where you were living?
It's very weird because even though I am Chinese and I look Chinese, I think my behavior doesn't feel Chinese to the people in China. Like I think they see me more as a Westerner than as one of the Chinese people.
Yeah.
And then here it's like they see me more as a Chinese person than a Canadian person. So it's like it almost felt like I didn't fit into both places. Because in China, it would be so strict where, like, smoking was frowned upon and tattoos were frowned upon and drinking was frowned upon. It was very much, you should be a goody two-shoes.
Like,
and
go
you
to
should,
school,
yes, finish
school,
school,
be
be
rich, marry
be a
rich.
lawyer, be a doctor.
Be a doctor, yeah.
If you're pretty and dumb, you marry rich. If you're ugly and smart, you work for yourself. So I think, like, that whole culture shock for me was like, it seemed so limiting and toxic that like I didn't want to stay there. Like I knew that I wasn't gonna live regularly in China just because like I feel like girls in China have such a standard to live up to that it's almost sexist.
And it's like put on from other people.
Yes,
too.
it's most definitely put on from like the older generations that are kind of like trickled down and passed down.
Lack of individuality.
Lack of education, lack of individuality.
Yeah.
It's definitely a culture shock. I'm not talking bad about it. I don't want people to think that I'm like talking bad about it. It's just like you don't get the same amount of freedoms that you have in Canada or in the
100%.
US or
Speak on that, man.
yeah, it's very, very different.
100%, man. And even I think people got a little glimpse of that with COVID, just not being able to go out. If that's your everyday life, like, man, that takes
making
a
that
toll,
adjustment
for sure.
Crazy.
from being a social person
I
to
know.
literally just locked down. Like it felt like to me that it was home jail.
For real,
That-
yeah.
exactly.
It was like, you know
You're
what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
It was like, okay, well, you're not necessarily locked up, but you're locked up. And like, if you
don't
do
go-
any,
and you had like a curfew, remember
Yeah,
that?
literally, yeah.
It was kind of
Man, there was a time, and it's weird that we're talking about it like it's so long ago, and it's not really. But
Damn,
like
that's so
the
true.
parks, remember they would close the parks, like they would block
Yeah.
off the entry and stuff like
They
that.
would.
Like we really got a taste of like what it's
And
like.
they had like
to-
security too at national
Security.
parks telling like go home.
it's
like,
it's
we're
so crazy because like,
It's crazy.
listen, like, outside is supposed to be where people can go at any time,
Yeah.
especially parks in Canada and parks in Toronto. Like, it's a family environment. People
Yeah.
go for
Exactly.
walks, runs, they work out there. Their kids go and hang out there. You know what I mean? And it's like having community parks taken from the people was like taking their last ounce of freedom.
I know.
It's true, man. I'm glad you spoke on the freedom
For
aspect. 'cause
sure.
It's
Yeah.
huge. It
Yeah.
can't be understated. And for
sure.
a young person growing up in a place where you feel like you don't have any freedom, I could only imagine.
Exactly.
Just want to get out of there, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you really think about it, like, going from Chinese culture into Western culture, it's such a big, like, it's on both sides of the spectrum. There's literally no in between.
Right.
And even when it comes into my tattooing, like, I think my parents are still very on the edge about what I do. They don't see it as a career choice. Like, they don't see it as, like, okay, like, my child is trying to build something, right? They kind of see it as, like, oh, like, we feel like you're rebelling. Because, like,
You're not being a doctor. You're not being a lawyer.
Tattoo,
All
also,
of that
tattoo
again.
culture is like so against Chinese culture because in Chinese culture we believe that you go the way you came. Like your body is a temple.
Right.
You know what I mean? You go the way you came, and like putting something permanent on your body that you were not born with is almost like dirtying.
Right.
And I put this in air quotes, dirtying your body. And that, like, I feel like that relates to COVID lockdown so much to kind of in a sense where, like, how the government was trying to how we behave and, like, how we interact with other people. It feels very similar to, like, how the Chinese government, how, like, Chinese culture tries to control
For sure.
your social aspect and, like, who you are as an individual. So, like, it's trippy, man.
It's
really
trippy.
trippy.
It's trippy and it's
trippy.
scary because we're all ourselves. And
Yeah.
when
I
someone's
know.
trying to take that away from us, it's like, no, man, this is all we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And it was like the first time it's ever happened to us, right?
Right.
Where it's like there's actually actual law telling us like when to go home and what to do every day.
Did you, I mean, I didn't follow that shit, though.
I had to. There was police everywhere in my neighborhood. That's why.
I like that you said
The
law,
grocery
though, because it
store.
wasn't really a law. It was just, like, heavily...
It was just being told what
Enforced.
to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was-
so weird, man.
Yeah. It wasn't even like, oh, you're breaking a law or
No.
you're whatever.
No one knew what was going on.
The abuse of power, though, power and control,
100%.
the abuse of power is what ultimately set me off because, like, number one, don't tell me what to do.
For real.
First things first, don't tell me what to do. Second thing is, like, how are you going to tell me when I can get some fresh air? You know what I mean? How are you going to tell me when I can, like, actually go out and see the sun? Or, like, when I can go out and, like, look at the stars?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And you know what, man? When we were going through that reminder helped me through it. Like, no, they can't take the sun from us. They can't take, you know, the weather and the spirit, you know?
Exactly.
100%.
I think for Toronto, though, like, we are a very close-knit community to a point where, like, we're very about the people.
Yeah.
You really don't have this in every city. I think it is definitely like a Toronto thing. Like Scarborough has its own vibe, Markham has its own vibe, downtown Toronto has its own vibe, and every community of people is accepting of all other communities. It's not like, oh, I'm from Scarborough, I can't fuck with you from, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, can I swear on this?
Hell yeah. Please do that. That's the whole point.
Wait a second.
We're not on radio here.
But yeah, Toronto's definitely a very home environment, you know?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
When you did you ever live anywhere else outside of Toronto when you were in Canada?
I didn't live anywhere else, but I did move to Texas for a few months in my teens. Yeah.
How's that?
The trauma.
You've lived in a few different like extremes.
A few different extremes. The extreme in Texas is you don't see a lot of Asians. There's a lot of Hispanic people. There's a lot of white people, and there's a lot of black people. But Asian is like kind of the minority there.
Yeah.
I traveled well over Texas, and it was. Again, I'm not saying anything bad about the city. It's just my own experience. Like, you don't get the same Asian representation you do in Toronto. And I think that's what makes Toronto home is because we're so multi-diverse. We're so multicultural that, like, race and culture is not an issue to us the way that other cities and other countries experience it. Like, look at the three of us. You know what I mean? Like... And my momager is behind the camera. You guys, shout out my momager. Shout out Tiana. But like we're such a diverse city that like you can't walk into a room where you don't see a little representation from from every culture in any culture, right? So
you're 100% right. And even you know what's funny to think about? Like I first heard of you from Erika putting me onto you, and going to the Campfyr event. I see a bunch of different products, different people from different races. Then I see Angel in a room just tattooing going at it during the party. Like that was so diverse and cool and different. Like
I know that
so
market
cool
was crazy.
We really worked. Like I think Erika and her collab partner Sarah, they really work hard on Campfyr. And I tell you guys this like every event.
All
like
the
I'm
time.
always like, do you see? Like you made this. Like you literally gave
Angel
birth.
does.
Like
yeah.
I think it's incredible because. Especially with our generation, young women and young entrepreneurs speak louder than any generation in the past. You know what I mean? Like, we really voice what our dream is, and it's really paving a road for the younger generation to, like, speak your truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No one's going to speak for us.
Exactly. And, like, our generational trauma from our parents of, like, sit quiet, sit pretty, you know, keep your head held high, listen more than you speak. But when it comes to me, I'm like, I want to speak more than I listen because I don't want to conform to anybody else's standards but mine.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And like, I think with Campfyr and with Erika and Sarah's event, like it really gives, even the podcast, even Versatile Vigilante, like it really gives a platform for as a melting pot of all cultures and all voices and all identities and representation. It's like it's so refreshing to have something like this where politics can come into play, opinions can come into play, and you know, you can speak on the right and the wrong and whatever. There's no right and wrong, obviously. Everything's a gray space, but yeah, you really are able to kind of express yourself through young entrepreneurs like the both of you and young creators like the both of you. And it's like, this is I've only experienced this diversity in Toronto. Like, I've never had this anywhere else. Never mind China, Texas. Like, never mind any of the places I've visited. Literally the 2 places. But, like,
love that.
but yeah, it's just, like, Toronto was home, you know? And, like, even, we're in Saga here tonight, but the vibe in Saga is different, and the vibe in Markham is different, the vibe in Toronto is different, but no one will ever tell you go back to where you came from.
No,
it's a
absolutely.
melting pot, and it's fondue,
I
gorgeous.
love it, man. You can be a tour guide as well as a tattoo artist.
yeah,
That's for sure.
do it.
Hell yeah.
You know
Love
what
it.
you know what it is.
You spoke nothing but facts there, though. It's
100%.
so true. Toronto's a world-class city. Talk about this all the time on the podcast and in
You
personal
do.
life. It's a world-class city. I hate the mentality of, oh, we're not good enough. Fuck that. We're more than good enough.
You know what's
You
so
know?
funny? I noticed that Torontonians are like Toronto needs to be its own country.
I agree.
Like the culture here is unmatched. You
Yeah.
can literally find any cuisine in any neighborhood.
I know.
It doesn't matter if it's like a predominantly white neighborhood, predominantly black, Asian. Literally anywhere that you go, you can find what you want to eat within the same block,
There's,
and
like,
that's
your local
gorgeous.
shawarma block, your
Yes.
local Italian restaurant, your
yes.
local Chinese takeout.
Yes,
Crazy.
and you know, I noticed that like in Toronto, we really support local. Like, we really love supporting Canadian-owned Canadian businesses. Toronto specifically, like Toronto small business. Up next, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Huge,
No,
man.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. 'Cause I think we've all realized, like, if we don't support each other, then everyone's just going to go to Walmart.
Exactly.
But
No.
if we don't buy this from you and you,
Yeah.
who's going
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
I mean, look at us right now. We're all kind of supporting each other, right?
Which
We all
is-
met
isn't
at
that
like the event,
crazy?
which is crazy.
Like, the fact that, like, not me getting spiritual, but, like, the universe said, you, and you, be friends
no,
now.
love that.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. Like, honestly, I really do want to say thank you to the both of you, because seeing another young, born female entrepreneur and creator actually, you're not doing this for yourself. I think
that's
that's
so
what's
sweet.
important. Is that, like, I need to say that, is that, like, you're not doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
You're not doing this to be famous yourself. You're not doing this to get your name out there. You're doing this to get
For
Campfyr's
you
name out
guys.
there.
I'm here for you guys.
Yeah. And what is Campfyr? Campfyr is literally a melting pot of anybody who ever dreamed of being their own boss coming into Campfyr. And what is Versatile Vigilante? Anybody that ever wanted to speak up, that wanted to tell their story, we gather in these places, right? It doesn't matter which room you're in, which office building you're in. If you're in Toronto, we welcome you.
Exactly.
And this goes to, listen, this goes to
Period.
everybody. If you're from the States, if you're from a country who's really experiencing it right now, like, shout out to all of the warriors, all of the survivors. Like, if
Angel
you're...
needs to be a football coach.
I
man.
know.
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm ready to run through, man. I'm ready to
come
run through the
Toronto.
wall.
We welcome you. It is safe in the
I
city.
love
Honestly,
that.
like, obviously every city has its own little bumps, but ultimately Toronto, I've seen Toronto be one of the safest cities. Like, if you really think about it, the government has done so much for us in terms of COVID without all of the control. Okay, let's just drop the control. Stop trying to control your people. But, like, outside of everything else, like, our healthcare workers have really, really, really pushed
The
themselves.
people, not the government.
Yes,
people.
the people.
It really was the people.
It really is the people. Like, man.
Well said, man. That was inspirational.
I almost cried.
Honestly, like
I love that. I can hear you talk for hours.
real shit. If there's ever a time where I'm feeling down, I'm calling Angel.
Yeah.
Please do.
Hype me
Angel,
up.
I need you right now.
I be on my Instagram. I'm like, if you guys are struggling, like, you need to DM me. Cause, like, it doesn't matter if we're strangers. It doesn't matter if you're much older than me. It doesn't matter if you're much younger than me. Everybody just needs one human being who's willing to listen.
Honestly, I say that all the time too.
Like, if you can just provide a safe space for others to listen and for others to come and talk to you, I've done my job as a tattoo artist.
Aw,
You know what I
that's
mean?
Interesting. You feel like as a tattoo artist, you're part therapist?
Full-time therapist. Are you kidding
love
me?
that.
I should be verified. Like,
Certified,
I should be verified, certified, licensed,
side.
everything. Like, yo, I say this with all seriousness. I want my chair to be a safe space. Like, again, a lot of people who come in for tattoos have body insecurities, whether it be stretch marks or surgery marks or anything like that, whether it be their skin tone. I've had dark skin ask me, like, oh, will you work with me? Because I know, like, dark skin won't reflect as well as, like, light skin. And I'm
Right.
like, you shouldn't, like, the color of your skin should never dictate if you can get a tattoo or not. You know what I mean? It's one of the most inclusive art forms. Of course, there's going to be a tattoo artist that won't work with dark skin.
really?
It's so, it is harder. Because black black ink on black skin is not as vibrant compared to black ink.
Yeah, it's
on
hard to
light
see.
skin. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are artists that won't post dark skin photos or won't work with dark skin, but it's like, this is an art form, and art is not meant to be exclusive.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
Absolutely.
not meant to be like, you're good enough to get it and you're too dark. It's like,
Yeah.
that's
No, it's not
bullshit.
a competition at all.
No, it really
Exactly.
isn't. Like, it has to be inclusive. And if it isn't, it ruins the whole culture of people coming together to collect art. Like, it ruins the feel, the vibe, the
Right.
love to create things together. Because you
Yeah.
bring an idea into me and I create your idea for you. Right? And I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have as much diversity that I have in my clients. Like, I'm thankful as fuck. Thank
Yeah.
you. Like,
It's amazing. And you touched on like community earlier. That's another way of building that community.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. When you started getting into tattoos, what actually led to you wanting to do them? I'm assuming you got a tattoo before you ever gave someone a tattoo.
Yeah,
yes?
yeah.
Okay.
So I've only been tattooing it's March now. It's March
That's
now.
what I know. I think about it too. I was like,
I'm like,
I don't even know
April,
anymore.
February, January, December.
What year is it? I don't even know.
Vince is like, wait, it's 2022,
Is it?
right?
I don't even know.
It's like,
Yeah, it's March now. I started back in July. So it's been,
Of
I think,
last
like,
year?
yeah,
Are
it's
you
been 8
kidding?
months.
2021?
Yeah,
What?
it's been 8 months.
What?
Yeah, I'm still a
swear.
baby.
That's mind blowing, actually.
You're
Thank you,
so
thank you.
sick, though.
My momager in the back cheering
Wow.
for
Oh
me.
my god.
2021 of July.
Yeah, so it's only
Not
been
even a
8
year
months,
ago,
and
you
like
already headlined.
that's
Wow.
yeah.
Good
So
job.
for those of you who don't know, I did do an event in collaboration with Campfiyr to headline for them, and I think that was the first time where I actually walked into an event and was like, this is what my life is becoming. Like, that was a wake up call for me.
Good.
You know what I mean? Because like you go to the shop every day and you see your clients every day, but it's like that was the first time I've ever done an event and felt like, okay, my life is actually impacting more than just outside my
Yeah.
shop. Like, I'm actually reaching out to the local community, and I think that's like that is ideal. And again, like I said, like that is what Campfiyr and these communities and this podcast provides, is the sense of community for the young and
Yeah.
upcoming, right? Because
sure.
like how would local downtown Torontonians
Support each other.
yeah, like
without
how would,
having a space to support each other.
exactly, right? Because yo, before you can open up a tattoo shop, you need a chair, right?
How do you get that?
Yeah, and like where are you supposed to get that if creators like Erika and Sarah aren't going out of their way like you guys are students, like this is not your full time, like, you know what I mean, like you have other things to juggle on your plate, and for you to actually be providing a space like that for other people, it's brave, like it's so admirable.
It is brave because it's a challenge. Like, it's
Yeah,
scary.
Honestly, it's just like we know that we have to help you guys out, and how can you guys get bigger if you know the
If
only
there isn't somebody
audience
to start.
exactly
Yeah.
and your only audience could be what, like your friends or your circle of friends or the people on social media.
Yeah.
But I feel like having a face-to-face interaction, face-to-face organic relationship is just more meaningful, more impactful,
So
and,
personal.
yeah. And look what happened, we met at before you message Sarah, we literally met at an event.
Yeah.
And look what happened, we collaborated on an event, and now look what's happening, we're at a podcast with another creator.
It's
So
it's
just
literally a
insane.
stepping stone. It's
It
like
is. That's what
Exactly
we
it.
want to do. We just want to create a space for you guys. you know?
I think it's so admirable.
Yes, thank
your
you.
guys'
So
relationship, your relationship is so cool because stepping stone, but it seems fun as fuck. Like,
Oh, it's
you're
so
literally-
fun.
like-
I'll buy this girl shots after her event. I'm like, so
That's what
you
I'm
in
saying.
this? Like, are we getting drunk at this point or not? Because like,
And just
one,
was trying to knock me out.
one,
yeah.
you work hard. Two, like, let's fucking celebrate. And to
Let's
that,
get
I
you
will
some
drink.
God.
No, that's my favorite part of it. Like, the building relationships is so much fun. Like,
It's so casual because
You know?
like you don't need to
Oh,
pull
am I
up
drinking
with
alone?
like
Okay,
being
that's
so posh, you know, being so articulate, being so proper. It's like show who
yourself.
you are, because that's what we look for. Like
you,
someone who's just confident, creative, passionate about who they are. It's like, don't worry, we'll help you. We'll like,
momager.
Momager.
but yeah.
is busy.
Oh my god,
coming
thank
out of your
you.
paycheck.
We're gonna do a cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers, cheers, cheers.
I honestly don't pay my momager enough. for her to even be here.
She's having fun. though.
MomAger, cheers.
Watching the door security.
no
Hold
more.
on, my thing's empty.
Okay.
But
Here,
no,
I'll pour you a
that's-
shot.
A shot.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
her the bottle.
Yeah. You want more?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Here we go.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is, by the way, the first time we've ever had 4 people in the room. So
Nice.
there
It's
we
a
go.
party.
Double
It's a
cheers.
party.
To a party.
I think that's a party for real. Love that. So, July 2021, first tattoo. How did that even come about?
So I think I probably messaged 20, 30 different tattoo artists, literally
really?
begging people to take me. Like begging for an opportunity.
Did you have like a portfolio already?
no portfolio, no art, nothing. And my mentor, Jay, he's been a big blessing in my life because
Shout out Jay.
shout out Jay.
Shout out to you.
He basically took me in without asking for anything in return. And he actually let me stay at the shop and kind of provided a working environment for me where like once I learn my skills, I can automatically start tatting. And I it's so funny because when you want something bad enough, the universe will give it to you. And if you work for something hard enough, the universe will give it to you.
Manifestation.
Exactly. And if I hadn't messaged the 24 people that I did back in June, May-ish, I don't think I would even be here. And this goes to the people that are very experienced in any industry. Remember who paved the way for you, because you're going to save somebody if you literally just open your hands and give somebody even a minute of your time. You're going to open doors for that person that you would never ever imagine. The same way that somebody brought me up, I know that one day when I become a very experienced tattoo artist, when I open up a shop,
Hey, yes.
when I start running my own
you
shop,
do.
you best believe that I'm going to be reflecting what I was given. Right? It's sincerity, it's kindness, it's the acceptance of wanting to see people in your city come up, right? And it's like Toronto is so diverse that you're going to get so many different forms of styles and art and different vibes of tattoo artists. And I think like you can't be selfish. You know, there's enough business, there's enough client, there's enough money in the world to go around. And if you're literally just claiming all of that to yourself, karma's gonna get you.
For sure.
100%.
You're absolutely
You know,
right.
you gotta
Agree.
give before you start actually asking for anything back,
Really.
Absolutely right.
right? Because karma's a bitch.
Karma's a bitch,
I
man.
believe in karma.
I do. I really
Really
do
have it
believe in
All that's in the
karma.
tattooed.
universe.
Speaking of tattoos, I literally have it tattooed. Like, I'll do good and good will come back to you. You know, I'm a big
Absolutely.
believer.
Karma.
in good
I've got a
karma.
question for you both. Do you believe in coincidences?
Oh, 100%. 100.
I ask because is it a coincidence or is it just meant to happen? Like, is it the universe at work? Like situations where it's like, oh, you know that
You
person?
believe- I do like both.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
see. I think I believe in coincidences, but I don't believe coincidences repeat themselves.
Yes, there we go.
So if something is happening consistently in your life, that is work, not luck.
Yeah.
If you win the lottery, that is luck, not work. So I believe in
That's why.
coincidences, but I think at a certain point, you are making your own fate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like what you do with it regardless.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, if you are lucky, it's your responsibility to do something with it.
Identify it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love those types of conversations. I love like the universe talk.
Yo,
I
the
think it's so
spirituality.
real.
Okay, we need to understand. It is very selfish to think that nothing exists outside of us. That is a very
100%.
selfish
It is
notion.
It is.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like
Yeah.
the universe is so big. Like you literally have to be so self-centered to think that there's nothing outside of us.
Yeah.
True.
It's like people who aren't even aware outside of their own city. Which
Thank
is like
you!
it's crazy.
Literally China.
Yeah.
Let me say this. In China, we don't get Facebook, we don't get YouTube,
Yeah.
we don't get Twitter, we don't get
Yeah.
Facebook, we don't get Google.
What's the China Facebook called?
Weibo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about
Weibo,
that
and
before.
Weixin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all everything outside of China is filtered. Like we're literally not allowed to learn anything else outside of China. Obviously, there's something called VPNs. If you're visiting China, I suggest you get a VPN because you're going to get shut out from the rest of the world for a very long time. And it's very hard to even open up Facebook over VPN. Like, the restrictions on it are so tight. My neighboring country is Korea. And it's hard to even actually see news from Korea.
Damn.
Yeah, it's very, very limiting. Like, again, I'm not speaking bad on my culture. My culture raised me. It created who I am today. It made me strong. It made me understand. And it made me be able to, like, relate to things outside of myself, especially the block on, you know, not being able to reach out to the Western world is like, it really changes you as a person, and it really shows you government versus people. And I kind of want to relate it to like what's going on, like Russia and Ukraine. Is like, government and people is not the same thing.
No,
It really is not.
No.
Government and people are not the same thing. The people make the community. The government make the laws.
Yeah.
You know?
huge facts. I'm gonna shed a tear.
Yeah.
Huge facts.
Like, I think we have to remember that, like, with everything that's going on in the world, like, you can't blame a country for its people, because it's not the people making these decisions to be violent and non-accepting and closed off. It's not up to the people, it's up to the government. At the end of the day, we can only do so much by ourselves, but if the people come together, it is so much stronger than any government can be.
100%.
You know?
Absolutely. And in a small way, I think that's what Toronto's trying to do. Creative community, at least. Just build your own little world.
Yeah.
As much as we want to build our own little world, think outside of ourselves.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
If we were only to do what we do for Toronto, we will never ever be able to reach our full potential.
Exactly.
That goes for anybody who's trying to get an apprenticeship. That goes for anybody who's trying to create a podcast or create a safe environment for small business creators. You have to remember that it will reach outside of your city. And if you are scared of that growth, you're just not going to do the same level of work, the same love, the same investment, the same emotional investment. It's just not going to be the same. You have to create for the world. But think, that's saying, it's like, think globally, act locally.
Exactly.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yes. Think globally, act locally.
That was in
I
a Chief
love
Keef
that.
song once.
Oh,
There we go.
Culture kings.
oh my God, no.
No, that's facts, man. To me, I relate that to like having big dreams, but taking it day by day and
For sure,
treating
yeah.
people well and you know,
Yeah.
valuing your people around you. Huge.
Honestly.
No shortcuts with that sort of stuff.
You can't. It's like, if you take shortcuts in who you're trying to be and what you're trying to achieve, it's going to reach the wrong audience.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're going to reach an audience who is more community based than globally based, right? And in art and in creation, you always want to create what's going to reach the people, not just your people. If I was creating specifically Chinese inspired art, it would attract a lot of Chinese people in Toronto. And there's a very big portion of Asians in Toronto, right? So if I was to only create a certain niche, it would only attract a certain niche, right? But being a tattoo artist, it's being versatile. Hashtag Versatile Vigilante.
Yes. We do shameless plugs here.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Love it.
Being a creator, it means you actually have to learn the cultures of different people and what tattoos mean in different cultures and what different tattoo symbolizes and the mental health aspect of tattoos and the coping mechanisms that people bring in when they sit in your chair. It's like, you really have to take into account that outside of yourself, because as much as I'm the tattoo artist, I'm putting it onto somebody else, right? So I got to think in their perspective. Why are they getting this tattoo? Why are they coming to me to get this tattoo? You know, with that being said, I hope that male tattoo artists can understand why some female tattoo enthusiasts are uncomfortable walking into a male-dominant shop.
Okay. Speak on that.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about that.
Because if you think about it, right, tattoos are very intimate. Most of us, if we're getting a stomach tattoo, our shirt will be off.
Sure.
If we're getting a leg tattoo, our pants are coming off, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, we as tattoo artists have to understand what makes certain people uncomfortable. Because I would never just walk into a tattoo studio and take my shirt off and my titties out. You know what I mean? Like, even no matter how bad I want that tattoo, I don't feel comfortable laying on a table just titties out.
With
know.
a man or with anyone in general?
Just with anyone in
Anyone,
general.
yeah.
Anyone in general. Because you don't know what people think,
Yeah.
right?
it's just like you don't really know what to expect, and that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think like as creators, not even limiting to tattoo artists, but like as creators, we really have to take into account what makes other people uncomfortable. Because if you can address the uncomfortable things is when you start to recognize what people are actually okay with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like if you don't provide a safe space, people are not going to want to come heal with you.
Exactly. It's all about being open.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
It's like, yes, you don't have to talk, but you can listen. 'Cause
Yeah.
listening will go so far.
Yeah, exactly.
You're at your best when you're comfortable and feeling
Exactly.
100%.
Like who you are, because then that's when you're going to do like your most maximum effort, right? Your best efforts, and that's when your real passion actually comes out and shows.
Exactly. So, do you feel like if someone's uncomfortable, it's because of the person that's running the shop, or do you think it's a conscious decision that someone's doing something to make someone uncomfortable, or do you think just the vibe is off? What do you think what's an example? I've never been in a tattoo studio before. By the way, I've had zero tattoos.
Been in like a space where you just felt like
Just
awkward?
off, yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I don't belong here. It's like, oh, why do I feel a little off? Like, have you ever felt like that?
For sure.
Even
Yeah.
let me put it into something that everybody will be able to understand, okay?
Yeah.
As a white passing person walking to a Chinese restaurant, it's a little awkward.
It's a little overwhelming. Maybe.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing when you walk into a tattoo parlor. If you're somebody who doesn't have visible tattoos and you walk into a tattoo parlor and everybody's tatted up,
Right.
and it's like
Yeah.
9 out of 10 people are men, right? And you're just like this little girl just like walking in and getting their first tattoo.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to go to a tattoo artist, a tattoo shop that is going to make you comfortable, whether it means blocking off the space so that nobody sees your body. Because think of it like this, right? A sexual abuse victim who's coming in to get their sexual abuse scars covered is not going to want the world to see their sexual abuse scars.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Exactly.
So it's like, yes, the environment matters. Yes, the shop matters. Yes, the tattoo artist matters. Does the tattoo artist understand why you're coming in for this tattoo? Because as much fun as body art is, it's not just always about the art. It's about a healing process, right? People sit through 6 hours, 8 hours. Sometimes if it's short, it's like 1 to 2 hours of pain. And they're trusting you to inflict pain on them so that they can heal from the emotional, the pain that you can't see, the pain that's inside. They're asking you to help them heal that pain by putting your art on them permanently. It doesn't come off with soap and water. Yes, tattoos are permanent, and yes, they hurt. Like, it's not coming off, sis. Like, you know what I mean? So it's all aspects. It's the shop, it's the tattoo artist, it's the environment. Is it overly noisy for somebody who has sensory deprivation issues? Is it anxiety inducing? Is there too much movement walking around? And
Right.
are there kids running around? You know what I mean? It's like, it's the whole environment. Just like walking into a loud, noisy restaurant when you're looking for a quiet night, it's gonna be off.
Yeah. You just have to
Right?
feel safe, because if you're going to get a tattoo, it's because you want to.
Yeah.
But then you just don't feel comfortable. Like, then you won't enjoy the process. And when you look at the tattoo, it's like a reminder of, like,
Yes, very
not-
much
of
that.
something that wasn't calming to you
Yes.
when it was
Yes.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
So for someone who's looking to get their first tattoo, what would a recommendation be for you of how to look for a place, how to plug yourself to
Angels
if
like
you want you
me.
to describe yourself?
Okay, well, come to
but
me anyway.
Come to Angel.
Come to
Rising
me.
Angel.
You know.
Rising
Inc.
Angels Inc. I would say, for the people that are looking for their first tattoo ever, like
Yeah.
you've never had any sort of body art done, I would say wait 3 months. If you're still thinking about that particular tattoo after 3 months and you're constantly thinking about it, it means that you want it. If you've forgotten the design that you want, the placement that you want 3 months later, you don't really want it.
Right.
It was a more in the moment thing. I think a lot of like, especially Gen Z people, they're very like on the spot decision makers. You know what I mean?
IG culture.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They're very like
Yeah, so
on the
it's like,
spot.
everyone's
go
doing
with the
that.
flow.
Okay, I guess
Yeah.
I will too.
Yeah, so I recommend that if you see a tattoo trend, whether it be like a face tattoo or like a hand tattoo, wait on it. And if you're still thinking about it months later, that should be a signal for yourself. But never ever get a tattoo that is very visible until you're more tatted.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like,
Absolutely.
don't get your first tattoo on your face
Yeah.
or your hand
Yeah.
or your neck. You know what I mean? Like, get your first tattoo where
start somewhere.
Yeah.
where it's gonna be where you like seeing it. Where, again, tattoos are not for everybody, but keep in mind that employers do look at this. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I literally don't have any visible tattoos. They're all hidden.
Yeah, employers will look at it, especially in a professional environment. You can get hired, then get the tattoo. Secure your bag first. Please understand this. I'm not going to tell anybody listening to this what to do, but keep in mind that you don't want to make the wrong choices. And I think so many people who are in the older generations, our moms, our dads, they're not against tattoos as much as they are afraid that you won't.
The consequences.
Yeah,
it's the
exactly.
consequences.
It's not so much that our moms and dads, uncles, grandmas, grandfathers are, afraid that we won't, like...
They're not afraid that, like, the tattoo's gonna hurt you.
Yes.
They're afraid what's gonna
Yes,
come
the
out of
consequences
it.
of
Like,
getting
how
the
is it gonna
tattoo.
hurt you in the future?
Yes,
Looked at
because you
Right.
gotta remember that not everybody is accepting of piercings, nose piercings, tongue piercings,
Exactly.
tattoos. Anything that is a change outside of what you are born with will forever be taboo. Yes, tattoos are becoming a more regular thing.
is.
But is it still taboo? Absolutely.
Yes.
It's forever going to be taboo.
It's crazy to see where it's come though, because back in the
100%.
day it was seen if you had a tattoo you were either like
Gang.
a gang member
Gang.
coming out of jail, like a sailor. Like it was literally like,
Yeah.
not the
Not the vibe.
But now
not the
it's
vibe.
like aesthetic.
Now
it's
everyone's
cute.
got it.
It's ditzy.
it's,
But
it's
also
it's
just-
a thing.
everything.
If you want a tattoo that's an Instagram trend, wait until the trend is over and then ask yourself if you want the tattoo.
Yeah.
That's
Wait
real.
3 to 6 months. Especially on your first tat, wait 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, take your time with it. I like too what you said about like immersing yourself in the tattoo culture, as opposed to just I want to get stuff on my body.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
learn about what the culture actually is. I respect that. I think that
Well, you gotta remember that, like, there are still ties to certain tattoos. For an example, a full spider web, each line in the spider web represents 1 year that you did in prison.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a teardrop on the eye is obviously you killed somebody. A backwards cross is Satan, apparently, like Satan worship. So you have to understand what it is that you're getting. And as a tattoo artist, obviously you can ask me.
Yeah.
But I need you to
and
do
it's
your own
good.
research because my views shouldn't change yours. You know what I mean? As a tattoo artist, I reject anything that is hate crime based. I reject anything that is prison life based, and I reject anything that is gang violence based. So whether it be a gang tattoo, a teardrop tattoo, a face tattoo that you don't have, like, oh my god, people who come in for face tattoos don't have any other tattoos on their body.
yeah, that's
Really?
wild.
It's a clout thing. I promise you, it's a clout
And you call
thing.
them out for it?
I'll just say I won't do it because it's a morality issue too,
Yeah.
right? It's like I need to be responsible. It's not about the low money that I make from a half an hour session. It's like it's
Yeah.
not about that.
Good
It's like I'm
principles.
putting something on your life, and like I'm not gonna be responsible. You're not
Yeah.
gonna be responsible.
I respect that. I respect that.
So do
Yeah.
I. That's
Because
good.
there are tattoo artists that will take any tattoo, but I would say the majority of tattoo artists are very, very responsible when it comes down to like tatting underage or like tatting representative tattoos like gang violence and swastikas. Never.
Yeah.
I will never do a swastika. Don't even ask me.
Has
Don't
any-
even look at me.
I mean, has anyone asked for that?
No. but
I don't
somebody-
see many people asking for that.
One
I
of the
hope not,
tattoo
at
artists I
least.
work with tatted like the N-word on somebody's forehead.
No way. That's
They actually
wild.
did it?
Like a straight across the forehead.
And he actually did it.
He did it.
Wow.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I mean,
That's wild.
that is super
I remember there was some clip with Drake where some guy showed him a fan tattooed Drake on their head, and he was like, "Why would you do that?"
see, that's a
my
morality
God.
issue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not shaming the tattoo artist that did that. I'm sure it was great work. I'm sure you talked to your client about it and you made sure that your client
But
wanted
it's
it.
like,
Oh, man.
But
Ooh.
you gotta remember that that could be cool for 3 months until the trend ends,
Facts.
Yeah.
and then you're sending your client straight into tattoo removal.
Yeah.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? If you want to do it for clout, get Inkbox, please.
Oh yeah.
Please get Inkbox.
Is that removable?
It's like it's
semi-permanent.
semi-permanent.
Okay.
It's almost like I want to say like printer ink, but it like stains the skin so that it like
Yeah.
it actually stays on the skin, but it is like a ink pigment. It doesn't actually go in the skin. It's just surface level.
Yeah. And then it washes off after like
Couple weeks.
A few weeks.
Yeah, a
Oh,
couple
okay.
weeks. So also, if you're not sure about tattoos, draw it on yourself every single day. Draw it on yourself every single day until one day you're either committed to it or tired of seeing it. And that will give you your answer.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very smart. A little trial run.
Yeah, you got to give yourself like
Smart.
a free subscription.
Yeah.
Right?
Free
Yeah.
subscription.
Free
exactly.
subscription before you invest.
Free
Free
trial.
subscription to Angel
You
Prime.
know?
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm not tipsy enough for this conversation.
There's still a little bit left. That's all you
Yeah,
get.
that's all you, Angel.
That's
Drink
so
it
funny.
all.
Do you have I was looking at your tattoos
I
and
know,
you
I've
do
been
have
looking
like
at
a specific vibe to them. I can't really describe it, but do you have
It's very
like
weird.
It's dope though. It's
Yeah.
very, it's very like
different.
clean.
Yeah.
Clean is the word I'm gonna
Yeah.
minimal
Minimal.
shading.
use. Yeah.
I love it.
A lot of line work. Even I think like
This is
on my
fresh.
yeah, this is fresh.
It
So
looks so
one
good.
of
Show it to the
Rosie
Yeah,
Ann.
she was
Skull
freaking
Gang.
out.
Rosie Ann. I forget what their Instagram is, but this is my newest piece. I'm getting my hand tatted as well.
Fire.
But even like the pieces on my body are very minimalistic, and very clean black work, line work. I think my tattoos that I've gotten have ultimately inspired the work that I'm putting out as
Right.
well.
Really? That's good.
Yeah. Because if you look on my page, like my main focus is to my momager's like, ah!
Oh my god,
There we go.
yes.
Oh,
Go,
spider
bestie.
webs though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that for
So
them.
cute.
And yeah, you gotta like, also for people that are looking for a tattoo artist, look for your tattoo artist based on what they produce, not what you want. If you're
Exactly.
bringing realism into a minimalistic artist,
You're not gonna get
you're
what you
not
want.
gonna get what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you're looking for realism work, go to a realism artist. Point blank. Period. Don't cheap out.
Yeah.
Don't cheap out. I think that's the biggest thing that people forget is that, like, yeah, we can easily spend $100 on our nails. We can spend $300 on a hair. But it's like the
Yeah.
second we're spending $600 on something that's forever, people are like, expensive.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
weird?
it is.
Don't cheap out on your tattoo and look for the artist that matches the style that you're looking for.
Exactly.
Get what you pay for.
Yeah.
100%.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. And just remember that, like, don't be that person that wants to copy somebody else's tattoo.
For sure.
Don't
like,
do that.
There was like a million men in the 90s with the tribal tats. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
That shit's dead now.
I love the butterflies. Okay, guys, I'm not
really
I'm not
cool butterfly
bashing.
tattoo.
Yeah,
There
I'm
we
not
go.
bashing
Mine's on
anybody's
flames.
butterflies, but don't get the same butterflies that
The
were
monarch
the Pinterest.
Yeah.
The Pinterest butterflies, I see them every single week, and I'm like, I'm down to do butterflies, but I'm gonna do it my style.
Yeah. What's
'Cause,
your
like-
style?
Put your own spin.
Yeah, like illustration, line work, super clean, a lot of black work, a lot of line work, minimal shading. But like, don't bring in somebody else's tattoo, because at the end of the day, your tattoo artist doesn't want to get sued. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because when you copy somebody else's art, that doesn't make it any different than plagiarism.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
You're copying somebody else's work. You don't know how many hours they spent on designing that tattoo. You don't want to take it. Right? I think being a responsible tattoo artist genuinely comes down to the work that you're putting out, not just what you're receiving. And if a tattoo artist won't even give you the time of day to answer your inquiry, don't go into that chair. Because the tattoo is going to come out and you might not love it, but you're going to be too scared to say anything.
For sure.
Is
Right?
there like a large percentage of like irresponsible tattoo artists, like people who won't like take responsibility of their clients, like who would
Just in it
tattoo
for the
those-
money.
Exactly. Right? Like, is it a large percentage or it's just a very small group?
You got to remember that with any industry, there's going to be a percentage of people that are in that industry for money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? Some people love math and numbers, so they go into accounting. Some people are in accounting to do it for the money. Right? Some people are lawyers because they want to help the community and they want to save people. Some people are lawyers because
For the money again.
for the money, right?
Yep.
So that happens in any industry, but you can't deem what is responsible. There's guidelines to responsibility, but responsibility is different in everybody else's views. When it comes down to me, my biggest thing is nothing that is racist, nothing that goes against people's beliefs, right? So nothing that's offensive. No underage, unless their legal guardian is there to sign.
Sure.
The amount of clients that I've gotten that are now of age telling me that they were tatted when they were 15, 16.
Oh my god.
it's heartbreaking.
I remember mad kids in high school with tattoos at like 16.
Yeah, like a little star on their ear,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like a little
I don't
some
know
some.
anymore.
For
Yeah,
sure.
those tattoos look like shit now. So okay,
Okay.
have fun, be safe.
Bye.
Be safe.
But yeah, there's like I think one of the biggest mistakes that I can speak on for myself is that when I was 14 and getting my first tattoo, I put a lot of consideration into it, and I still love my tattoo to this day.
Good.
But if I was a 14-year-old that was just getting tatted for the attention of it, I would hate it by now.
Oh.
You know
For
what
sure.
I mean?
It's on you. Like, you.
It's
Yeah.
yo,
Nowhere for it to go.
it will haunt you.
Yeah.
If you get a tattoo that you hate and is against other people's beliefs, it's not just you that's gonna face the heat. It's your tattoo artist that's also gonna face the heat. Where did you
sure.
get this tattoo? Da 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 da. Did it for me, right? And it's like it's a swastika or it's the N word, right? Like it's like
Yeah, no, that's.
you gotta remember it's not just you. You're putting somebody else in your
You have
spot.
responsibility.
Yeah, and your responsibility. And that's like I can only control so much as a tattoo artist before I have to talk to my client and sit them down and be like, are you 100% sure?
Yeah.
Like, is this against your religion? Is this against your culture? Or are you genuinely doing it for yourself because you love the art for it?
I respect it because it's a professional approach. You're taking your
It really
profession
is.
seriously.
It really
and,
is, yeah.
You know, you're not just willing to splat it on there and that's it. You
Yeah.
know?
Like you
So,
take time to
take the
research,
time.
making
Yeah.
sure the client is also properly like
Accommodated
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
it?
they know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
For sure.
That's
Safe.
it's just it's the safe environment that people want to know before they
Yeah.
even
For
enter
sure.
the shop.
For sure.
yeah.
what I mean?
And I'm glad you do that because I feel like for one of my tattoos, it was very much like I went into their home, went downstairs, and they're like, "Okay, sit down," right? And it
Yeah,
was like,
that's
"Okay,
almost
where?
comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
15 minutes later, okay, do you like it? Okay, time to put like the adhesive, right? And I was like,
You know
oh,
what's so funny?
right? And it
It's
like
not like-
ruins like
It ruins the whole vibe.
Because now
For
when I
sure.
look at that tattoo, I'm like, I don't even know why I got it.
Yeah.
Right? So
Definitely.
I think
Process.
I'm
you
glad
gotta
I'm not
remember
like
that like a tattoo only goes so far before how the tattoo artist made you feel comes into play. It could be great work, but if the tattoo
Yeah.
artist is like low key ignorant,
Yeah.
and
yeah, or
is
doesn't
just
really
not
care.
accounting for you, like you're not gonna love that tattoo
Yeah,
forever.
it even starts when like you first inquire for a tattoo. Like,
Yes,
the first, not even
exactly.
when you're there, not even when you like confirm the appointment. It's like, are you like even interested in
Yeah, are you
tattooing
cool?
me? Yeah, it's like, do I like trust you to tattoo me? That you're gonna
Absolutely.
try really hard to put something on my body like forever and make it look good?
Yeah.
Like, can I trust you through a few messages?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because, like, it's not like you have a sit-down conversation with every single tattoo artist. Unless it's, like, a whole leg piece or whole back
100%,
piece.
yeah.
Like, especially with COVID now, there's a limit to in-person
Consultations.
right? Consultations. So it's like, do you feel my vibe? And that goes for my Instagram profile, too. I've been told that, like, my Instagram profile is, like, unprofessional. And it's like,
Oh, really?
that's fine, yeah. Like, at the end of the day, like, if I can just create a safe space, like, I don't mind looking unprofessional. Because I'm going to attract the niche that I want to attract,
and it's also
right?
someone's opinion, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Opinions, you weigh them as you
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Be kind to your tattoo artist. I think a lot of people just kind of abuse the customer service aspect of things. Arrive on time.
Oh,
Like, I understand that you've booked out your time slot and, you know, you deserve my full attention. But at the end of the day, I have a life outside of your appointment. And I have feelings. So be polite and I'll reflect the same energy back. But if you're literally messaging me with no information, nothing of what you want, no design idea, and you're just like, oh, how much? How much for? I'm not a prostitute.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't just go by how much. Like, you need to let me know more information. That's a respect thing towards me and tattoo artists, is like giving enough information where your tattoo artist can provide you with answers.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just walk into a tattoo shop and be like, how much? Like,
Yeah.
you actually have to give the same amount of conversation to me that I'm going to be giving back to you. Because if you're asking me broad questions, I'm going to give you broad answers.
Yeah.
Right? So it is an energy switch. Like, it's an alternative. Like, you can't just be quiet with me and then I don't even know what you want.
Definitely.
right? So you really have to give the right amount of information. That way I can give you a quote and I can answer your inquiry. So it's a two-way street. Like any other relationship, your relationship with your tattoo artist is very important. You don't want to be disrespectful to somebody who's putting a needle in your skin.
Yeah.
100%.
You know?
Have you ever had a situation where it didn't go as you wanted and there's a conflict from it, tattoo-wise? Like maybe they didn't like the tattoo or something like that?
I've never had anybody not like the tattoo. I have had people who don't like the design. However, it was not an altercation. I have a very, very healthy demographic. I ask for a very small deposit. Usually the deposit is like $30 to $50,
Okay.
and that covers the design. If you don't like the design, you tell me, I redo it, or you let me know you don't want it, right? The only time that somebody has told me that they don't like the design, my client was great. They understood that I actually put work into the design. And usually if you guys don't, like if my client doesn't like something, I will give them a refund if they don't want to get the tattoo and continue with it, because that's respect towards my client, right? I'm not just going to take your money and run with it. The only time that somebody hasn't liked my design, like they were actually so understanding. They were like, I know you put the work into it. I know I booked a spot. I took that slot where somebody else could have booked. Keep the deposit, but continue booking with somebody else. And in return, I was like, you know what? Like, I still have your deposit. Like, if there's art that you do like, let me know, and it's yours. I'll put that deposit towards a future situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
People that have canceled, I've personally never received a no-show. Like, my clients will let me know prior if they can't come in. I think it's like the respect. They feel the respect that I have for them, so they have the same amount of respect back. Because I wouldn't just ghost the client. I wouldn't just not show up to an appointment, right? So they feel that, and they always let me know if they're going to cancel or reschedule or anything like that.
I love that. I really like how you seem to have a great balance of the art side of it, but you're about your business too.
Yeah.
Like
Very
even
much
that
so.
example where you gave them the refund, I think is such a great business
Right.
move, because if they do want to get a tattoo further down the line, they still had a good experience with
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's like, you got to remember that like tattoo artists are entrepreneurs. Tattoo artists are a small business, right? And I would never ever want to walk into a clothing store where like the pants or the shirt didn't fit me and I couldn't get a refund.
For sure.
Right? Because I would feel ripped off.
Yeah.
And for me to be a business that is essentially taking other people's money, I need to be responsible for other people's money, because that money didn't just fall down from the sky for them, right?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
100%
Like,
right.
I need to respect boundaries as much as I need people to respect mine. And as long as you are putting out into the community and out into the world something that is healthy and something that is good, you're not going to get ripped off. You just won't. You know, like, I trust that I'm manifesting my dream demographic. And with that being said, my clients... like, I wouldn't even be a tattoo artist if I didn't have clients, if I didn't have people that trust
Facts.
me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it really is a two-way street, and we always just got to be responsible with what we're putting out and the information that we're putting out, making sure that, like, all your clients are treated equally, right? And being realistic with what a tattoo will look like, right? Signing consent forms. If your tattoo artist doesn't have you sign a consent form, get out. Go. Like, you need to sign legally to get permanent alterations to your
Yeah.
body. Whether it's plastic surgery or breast augmentation, anything, it's all legally signed. Sign consent forms with your tattoo artist and make sure that they're as bound as you are, right? Because the tattoo process is only so short. The aftercare, the 3 weeks later, the month later, the months later that you're taking care of your tattoo without me knowing, that's up to you,
Right.
right?
That could make or break.
Yeah, that can make or break your tattoo. So it's like, if you're not being responsible with the healing process and you didn't sign a form that like acknowledges that you are solely responsible for your healing process, because I'm not like supervising your healing,
Yeah.
right? So it is equally it's equal responsibility.
You're right. It still blows my mind that you're so new to the
I
job,
know.
because you're very in tune. You're,
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
you're about your
that.
shit. I feel like you
Yeah.
were meant to do this, you know?
Honestly,
You're
it's
born
just
for this.
it's the last 8 years of tattoo collecting, and it's like, yo,
It really
like I
is your
found my
passion.
career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is a forever thing for me.
Yeah.
And like,
On your journey.
oh my god, like I'm so excited. Like
Yeah.
I'm still with every tattoo I do, I'm still like, wait, people book with me?
Yeah.
Yo, like people come to see me? Like
'Cause you
I work at a
deserve it.
shop? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like it's still so shocking because you wake up every morning and it sounds so cheesy, but you do what you love, and it's so fulfilling.
Yeah.
Money aside and everything, it's so fulfilling. It's good for the soul because you meet so many people who needed you at that specific time in their life.
Yeah.
And you get to walk out of that appointment and be like, yo, like I really connected with somebody today.
Yeah.
You know, like that connection is like,
and that's like something you can't really buy.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was
going to
say.
That.
You're right.
It's amazing.
You haven't brought up money at all. Like,
yeah.
You know, and I love that.
I don't really make money right now.
You know what? That's the thing that comes. If you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, being respectful, responsible, the money will come.
Yeah, it'll come to you.
You don't chase it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people might disagree, but that's how I see it.
I think you attract what you put out.
Yeah.
And I would rather have people actually want to pay me than to lie to people about what my work is like, because there are tattoo artists that Photoshop their work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's tattoo artists that will put a filter over their work or black and white their work, like a black and white filter. But it's like, if you're putting a black and white filter on a black ink tattoo, it's like, that really affects how your viewers see that, right? So it's like being realistic about what you put onto social media is also a responsibility that we have to take as tattoo artists. Facts. So it really is about like what you put out is what you attract, and
your whole brand.
Yeah, be responsible with your pricing. Like I know I'm a newbie, but like I do feel like there's tattoo artists that overcharge. It does also depend on location. If you're in the city, your tattoos are going to be much more expensive than if you're like further from the city, right? So just keep in mind who it is that you're looking for. Talk to more than one tattoo artist. If you've only talked to me and you find that I am someone that you want to work with, great. But as somebody that also collects tattoos, I would talk to several tattoo artists, and that is a respect for you. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna like put my foot down and be like, you can only come to me now. You know, I claim your body. No, it's not like that, right? Like you gotta talk to different artists and talk to different people and see everybody's different styles, because somebody that's gonna charge a shit ton of money might not be the style, the vibe that you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like, yes, price gets you what you're looking for, but it's also like, are you going to be comfortable in that situation? And you're only going to know if you actually experience your options, right? So obviously COVID, we can't really meet anybody in person without, you know, kind of making things difficult for everybody. But call your artist, message your artist. Does your artist put you on red for hours before they respond? Or are they accounting for you as you need them to, right? But also be respectful of people's times, because during the daytime I'm usually in an appointment where I can't really be on my phone. So I get people that are like, oh, why aren't you responding? Bitch, I'm busy. Like,
for sure, man.
It's not just you, okay? Like, just be respectful of people's
We're all
times.
human.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't have 4 pairs of eyes, right? There are 2 pairs of eyes and 4 hands. So
maybe one day.
Maybe one day, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bionic body parts are coming in soon.
Exactly.
You know?
Scary stuff.
So for the vigilante viewers out there, how would they go about getting an angel tattoo? What's the process?
So obviously message me. My Instagram is at Rising Angels Inc. That's rising.angels.inc. Spelled like you say it. And obviously message me, say hello, greet me. I will greet you back. And then you would want to include your design that you're going for. So whether that's like an explanation of what you're looking for, or you send me like a inspiration photo. The photo that you sent me is not the tattoo that you're going to get. Okay? An inspiration photo basically shows me the vibe and the design that you're going for. And then I will design it in my own style based off of what you've sent me. You will want to let me know where on the body it's going. That way I can let you know what the pain level is. Especially if it's your first tattoo, there are sensitive body parts and there's less sensitive body parts. So if you let me know your body placement, I can give you better answers. Sizing is a thing, right? So consider how big or how small you want to go with it. Remember that the smaller it gets, the less detail you can put into it. It's kind of like writing really small and barely being able to see it, or printing it in big clear letters where you're really gonna see it, right?
Yeah.
So sizing comes into play. Like, people are usually like, oh, I want this body part, or I want my arm wrapped or whatever, right? But it's like, okay, do you want the whole thing wrapped? Do you want a quarter wrapped? Do you only want the outside wrapped? Like, you gotta let me know.
Right.
If you don't know the answer, obviously my job is to guide you into the right lane, right? Into the right perspective.
Yeah.
But you do have to know what you want in order for me to help you. Like, if you're just like, oh, I want a tattoo, but you don't know what you want, it's like, I can't.
Yeah, that's not for you to decide.
Yeah, that's not for me to
It's
decide.
a team game.
Yeah, it is a team
like,
game.
you can help.
Yeah, I
but,
can
like,
help.
you
I
can't
can
tell them what
I can
to do.
guide you, but like, I can't tell you what to do
Yeah.
and what to get on your body. As much as I want to do my own designs and what I love, but it's like, you need to have enough information for me to go off of so that I can give you a proper quote.
You're right.
Also, don't negotiate prices with your tattoo artist. If it's too expensive, it's like walking into Louis Vuitton, right? Tattoos are a luxury. It's not a right.
It is.
It's a luxury. It's not a right, okay? Food is a right. Tattoos are a luxury, okay?
Yeah.
Even some food is a luxury, so let's keep that in mind. But yeah, like, you gotta remember that it's a luxury, and like, don't negotiate prices, because people don't understand that we don't pocket every single cent we make, right? 30 to 50% of it could go into shop rent. It could go into us buying supplies, right? A tattoo machine that is just a standard market machine could go anywhere from $900 to $1,300,
Yeah.
right? And that is probably a week to 2 weeks of work. And it's not even 2 weeks of work for me just yet. Like, I'm not even to a point where I can just be dishing out thousands of dollars on supplies, right? But yeah, you got to keep in mind that we don't pocket everything. You also have to remember that, like, tipping us goes a long way, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, we have to pay shop rent and we have to pay out commission and everything like that. So, like, whatever you tip us, we actually get to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, even if it's $5, like, you don't realize, but, like, that $5 could get me 2 coffees, right? And, like, if I'm working a 10-hour day, I'm gonna need a coffee. You know what I mean? So it's like, tipping is almost a way of saying thank you. Just like if you got good service at a restaurant, you're gonna tip your waiter a lot, right? If you got a good tattoo appointment, please tip your artist. It goes
service, it's not a
so
product.
Open
so
up those
far.
wallets. Open up those purses. Let's go.
Yeah, it goes so far. And then, like, you know what? Like, I don't even think of a $5 tip as, oh my God, it's so much money. It's more so like, wow, my client really could
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
they really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really not even about the money, but it's like a form of respect. It's a form of saying thank you. It's a form of acknowledgement, right? Because we want to get acknowledged too, right? Like, we see the work, but we usually don't see the tattoo artist, right? Like, if let's say I tattooed you, your friends are going to see the tattoo, but they won't really see me, right? So it's like, it is a form of acknowledgement, and sharing is caring.
Sharing's caring.
Sharing is caring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring. Well, Angel, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
You know
This
what
was
it
a
is.
lot of fun. You're the
I
first
know.
tattoo artist that I've had in
I
here.
learned
I'm
so
so
much.
honored. I'm
yeah.
so honored.
No, it was a lot of fun. Is there anything else you want to bring up, promote, anything coming up?
I think that Campfiyr and I will be collabing in the future.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yes. So if you are in Toronto, please support Campfiyr. Campfiyr is one of the local movements that are really genuinely bringing out creators from the city into almost like a global view. Like,
Exactly,
Instagram is
like-
not limited to Toronto.
It's
know
not.
what I mean?
I know, because I feel like it's like, how have you guys supported local in the past before, like, going to these events? It was always through Instagram.
It was
right?
always, yeah.
It was always through, like, oh, if you were lucky enough to get a business card, right? But then
Yeah.
you just, like, throw it away, or, like,
Yeah.
it'll just stay on your bedside table, right? So it's just, we're trying to do something different, something people want to interact with. And like both of you guys mentioned, like, you yourself even started tattooing in the pandemic. People are longing for something intimate, something important to their lives, right? Like, they were literally, their right was taken away to just enjoy outside and talk to people. So now we're trying to welcome it back,
100%.
right? So we want, you know, creators like you to realize that you are not alone. There is a community. There's Campfiyr. We're there to put you guys together. We're there to network with everyone. Be comfortable, be safe, and just give you guys a push that it's not that scary. You know?
Honestly, for anybody who is coming up in the city, I highly recommend that you guys do reach out to Campfyr because like
Exactly.
I've met Vince through it. Mm-hmm. Vince,
We've all met each other through
I've
it.
met Vince through it. I've met Erika through it. I met Sarah
Exactly.
through it. So I really do recommend for the small creators to take that leap of
Exactly.
faith. Count on yourself. And if it doesn't work out, who the fuck cares? There's gonna be other
Exactly.
opportunities, right?
We're
Keep it
always
moving.
taking up like businesses, you know, just download the app, register
100%.
yourself as a creator, you know, post some. You guys post, well, Vince posts, oh my God, he posts so much. We love it, right? Angel, you literally had us headlining, like it was crazy.
Thank
right?
you,
Like we
thank
just
you.
want to have these opportunities for you guys. We, like, it's just crazy how, like, it's such a simple act. You know, like, hey, do you want a headline? Hey, do you want someone in your
let's
show?
have some
No
fun
pressure.
together.
Literally
no
pressure.
pressure.
Let's go
And then
have
they're
some
like,
fun.
yes, of course, thanks, right? And it's like, okay, no problem. Like, here you go, right? That's all we want to do. And it's something so easy, right? But not a lot of people want to take the time to do it,
Facts.
right? So that's why we're here. So
Well,
anyone can do
Shameless
it.
self promo. My name's Angel.
Yes.
As of March 2nd, 2022, I'm 22 years old.
Holy.
Oh, champagne birthday. Is
Two.
it 22? You're turning.
As of
22 years old?
today, well, my birthday's in July, but right now I'm 22 years
Oh,
old.
okay.
Am I confusing?
Yeah.
But yeah, shameless promo. You can find me on Instagram at rising.angels.inc. Obviously, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions, if you have a future tattoo plan, you can always reach out to me ahead of time so that you have time to consider. I love what I do, and I hope that you love what I do. And
We
I
love what you do.
stop. Special shout out to Campfyr, Erika, and Sarah, as well as Versatile Vigilante. You already know what it
Let's
is.
go. There is a Campfyr coming up, yes?
Yes. Okay. When are you releasing this video?
I'll try to get it out before then.
But yeah, so Campfyr, you know, as they already mentioned, Campfyr, we're an app that tries to support everything local. So whether you have a small business, whether you guys are Toronto creatives or any GTA creatives, we're there to support you. We host events every month, night markets. We invite creatives like them, business owners like you guys, to come out, meet people. We invite a bunch of students, young adults, and everything like that. And we also get performers too. Like, I think last time,
Comedians.
they were both there. We got
musicians.
comedians. It was pretty sick. In the prior events,
the
it was
best.
concerts. But yeah, our upcoming one is for St. Patty's. You know, lockdown restrictions are a bit different now. Taco is where it's going to be. A very crowd favorite. Lots of drinks. Lots of other drugs that I won't name. It's a vibe.
Legal stuff. Legal stuff.
Legal. Yes, we
Legal
are in
stuff.
Ontario, so it is legal.
Tattoos are the
But
drug.
it's just,
Yes.
it's gonna be great. And you know, the artists that are performing, they're all local. They're all in the GTA. They all have a dream, and it would mean a lot to them if you show up, right? It's
Good vibes,
It's
just
free
good
if you're
vibes.
already in Toronto. It's literally
Come
Kensington
support.
Market.
Come support
Meet
some drinks,
friends.
some beer.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Exactly. Talk to us.
Yes.
Mingle with us.
We don't
If
bite.
you want to feature
Hell
here.
yeah.
We don't
talk
bite
to
unless you
Young
want us to.
Vince. If you want a tattoo, talk to Rising
we
Angel.
go.
If you want to be on the app, talk to me.
It's
But
that
you can talk to
simple.
anyone. It's
Yes,
so easy.
That
yes,
simple.
yes.
Like, does it look like we'll say no?
From the community for the community.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You already know.
Yeah.
Angel, much appreciated. I had a
Absolutely,
lot of fun.
bro.
Thank you so much. Erika, my guest host.
What's up?
There
Yes,
we go.
sir.
Momager, who was missing, but
Yeah.
shout
Oh my
out to her.
God. What if they were locked out? I hope they were locked out.
Oh.
We'll have to figure that out. But
Yeah,
thank
we're
you guys
done.
for watching. Go hit Angel. Go hit Erika. Follow
Yes,
Campfyr.
sir.
Versatile Vigilante. We're out here. Let's go.
Bye.
Awesome.
Good shit. We just did that. That was so fun. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. Oh my god.